conservatives and right-wingers are literally the devil in disguise. These people, especially the ones that are obsessed over the illegal migrants, they literally are the devil in disguise. They're willing to send back women and children, right, back to these countries that they're highly discriminated against. That literally anything can literally happen when you send them back, and they don't care. Why? Because, you got to protect British values. They are the devil in disguise.
To Layla Cunningham, Reform UK member of Westminster City Council, joined the party of the Conservatives in mid-June, fresh from the Reform conference. Layla Cunningham, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Nigel Farage has done a series of interviews at that conference. Among other things, he suggested that he would be comfortable sending female asylum seekers back to Afghanistan. Would you be?
Look, we're not talking about women fleeing the Taliban. We're talking about illegal migrants. Over 90% of our men who cross safe countries to reach Britain. And the vast majority are not refugees and they're not vetted. No one's sending innocent women back to the Taliban. For me, that's emotional blackmail. We're deporting illegal entrants and not genuine refugees. It's not about fleeing war or the Taliban. It's about breaking the law. And let's face it, Lewis, most of them are men, not women.
Anyone that knows anything about the Taliban, the way these people subject women to harsh treatments. And yet you're willing to say, no one really cares if they are fleeing these countries. They're still illegal migrants. Are you actually that sinister to actually send women back to these countries? Genuinely, and children. I mean, the case for the men, right, that's even one thing, right? But I feel like with the women, even like Nigel Farage himself, literally, you could see he's doing like a left and right on that conversation. At one point, it was like, I don't really care, that's their problem, who cares? But in another interview, he's like, oh, with women and children, they could stay. It's likely they could stay. But then he got a lot of backlash from the Reform supporters. And then he went back to the other side. Oh, no, that's not our problem. We're just going to send them back. They're all illegal migrants. You can clearly tell that there's something there, okay? Like, at the very minimum, right, you can actually make an empathetic claim that, hey, though these women and children are illegal migrants, if you want to say, but sending them back will literally be a fate that's going to be way worse than being an asylum seeker in this country. How these people literally have no morals to them, okay? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Women and children. Children, seriously.
Sure, but in terms of those, some are women, and in an interview with Sky News' Beth Rigby, Mr. Farage responded yes when asked if he would detain and send back women to the Taliban regime. So are you comfortable with that?
I'm comfortable with protecting our borders. If you enter our country from another safe country, that is illegal entry. It's they land on British shores and they just say the word asylum and they become asylum seekers. And if you really cared, and if the people really cared about protecting vulnerable women, perhaps we should focus on the ones currently here, who we can protect from unvetted men of who we know no criminal history, being placed near schools and estates. And we've seen that someone was convicted of sexual assault 8 days after arriving. That's our priority, the people in this country.
So to be absolutely clear, you would be that a Reform government, we can expect women who are claiming asylum in the UK, they may be claiming that if they're sent back to the Taliban, they may be raped, they may be killed. Mm-hmm. The Reform response will be, I'm afraid you're going back.
Lewis, that is not the right situation, and they're coming from...
No, it is. It's so simple. There's nothing more, nothing less. That literally is. You say they come from a safe country. No, they've gone through a safe country, okay? France has a way longer queue of people seeking asylum. So obviously it's reasonable that they're going to take the next stop, okay? If there are two lines to get asylum to claim asylum, and then one is extraordinarily longer than the other one, obviously you're going to leave that line and move on to the next one. That's what any reasonable person would do. So you saying they're fleeing a safe country. They're not fleeing a safe country. They went to a safe country, but it would have taken way longer. That's the point.
France, they're not coming from Taliban where they're...
No, they're coming from Afghanistan. So the choice is they're not going to go back to France. Mm-hmm. They're not going to be accepted back to France. The choice will be for your government, here or Afghanistan? I'm asking you, will you be comfortable with sending a woman who may claim that she may be tortured, she may be raped, she may be killed back to the Taliban?
Look, no one.
That seems like I'm pausing a lot, but I gotta quickly make this point, right? I love the fact that that's the third or fourth time I'm gonna repeat that question. This is usually what these people do, right? They just squirm around there and just get away with it. No, you have to answer the question. Answer the question, and if she doesn't answer it, ask it again.
One's comfortable with the scenario you just explained, but any government must prioritize the people of this country, and they've been ignored. We have put the rights of foreign criminals, illegal migrants, foreign treaties way above the rights of British women and girls, and I've had enough of it. I don't want to hear of another rape, of a sexual assault of someone who shouldn't be here, housed at the taxpayer expense. Of course, I'm not comfortable with that. I'm a woman myself. No one is.
So the answer is to send those women back to Afghanistan because we're worried about what's going on here. That's the choice that you're prepared to make.
Women or men, you come to this country on a boat illegally from France, you will not stay. That's it. Take from that what you
and it doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter what the political situation is of the woman. Let's imagine that she has proof that she is persecuted. Let's imagine she's a well-known politician, for example, from the former Afghan government. Your response will be, tough luck, you've got to go back to the Taliban, a barbaric medieval regime which treats women, as you know, beyond belief, beyond appallingly. Tough luck, go back.
No, Lewis, Britain has always protected genuine refugees.
That's what you've just said.
You just said that. Thank you. So that's what you literally just said. Oh, no, that's what you just said.
Oh, hang on. We won't be blackmailed.
Oh, right, okay, so some could stay.
Can I say, we won't be blackmailed into keeping every illegal arrival under the threat of what if. That's not asylum. That's the chaos we have now, right? If you're
that is literally France, all asylum. That is what asylum is. What if? Because we can't prove the counterfactual.
They're not asylum seekers.
But what if they are? Illegal. How do you know? Some are. Some are.
But they're not, because when you enter this country illegally without any documentation and you about where you're from, which a lot of them do. If they were genuine asylum seekers, they would come with passports and they would come with documentation. But you and I know they don't.
You think all asylum seekers have all the paperwork?
Yes, of course they do, and they should. Why do I need a passport to enter my own country? I can't rock up to Heathrow Airport without a passport and be like, let me in. Somehow
you're
they
not an
can.
asylum.
But you don't have to come on a boat, idiot. You get the privilege of being on a plane. That's why you need a passport, because you get the privilege of being on a plane. You get security on it. Like, you make sure you're actually safe. They make sure you're actually safe. But these people that don't need the passport, there is obviously something they're trading off there. The security, the safety. You come on a boat, it's a very risky maneuver. You could die.
Seeker. You haven't fled from a regime, perhaps at short notice, in the last minute, in the dead of night. Like, I mean, it's not the same thing. You and I going abroad is not the same as someone fleeing the Taliban.
They're not fleeing the Taliban, they're fleeing France.
Oh my
Well, some are.
God.
Some will be fleeing the Taliban. They will exist, these people.
Did she expect these people to literally get on a boat from Afghanistan and swim all the way to England? Genuinely, is that what these people are expecting? Of course they're gonna have stopovers. That's a part. They're gonna swim on a small boat all the way from the Middle East down into Europe. How crazy is that? How delusional are these people?
So why don't they stay in France if they're fleeing the Taliban?
Because some don't have any connections to France. Right? And so you're saying that it's okay, so the French should take all asylum seekers, we should take zero. What's the logic of that?
We take loads of asylum seekers. If they're genuine asylum seekers...
Well, not under reform.
Ask yourself this, Lewis. Why are they leaving France to come to England?
Because many of them don't have connections to France. They might not speak English. They may have family connections here. There's a whole myriad of reasons. There may be some bad reasons. You're right. There are definitely lots of economic migrants masquerading as asylum seekers. Some are genuine. Would you accept that? There are some genuine asylum seekers fleeing the Taliban. Some women. Would you accept that?
There are no buts.
You wouldn't.
You enter this country illegally.
What?
You cannot decriminalize illegal entry into our country, which effectively is what you want. That's what you want. You want it. It is an
No,
illegal. It is a crime to enter this country without documentation.
it's not a
illegally.
crime to claim
not.
asylum.
It's not a
No.
crime.
You know it's a caveat under the Human Rights Convention that you land on this country and you say the word asylum and
Okay.
you're no longer treated as an illegal migrant. That is unacceptable. It is unacceptable when taxes are going to go up. They want to tax my home. No, hang on. And then we're paying £8 million a day to house them in hotels. For me, that's an insult and a betrayal. And we will do whatever it takes to stop that. And I think you'll find that most British people
You're
agree
the
with us.
party. So you're the party of law and order, are you?
Of course.
Right. Is that why that you're giving a starring role at your conference to someone convicted of incitement to violence during a riot?
Look, I'm not comfortable, and I doubt you are. You're a journalist. You should be seeking the truth. I'm not comfortable with someone being arrested and put in prison. I don't know how long she spent in prison, longer than she should have. And I'm a prosecutor. She got a longer sentence than needed for a tweet.
But no one cares. No one cares how long she got. No, that literally is not the conversation. The conversation is, should you prop up someone that incited violence during a riot? That's it, okay? Because she came out during the conference looking like the hero, looking like the physical embodiment of the injustice in the United Kingdom, okay? Are you supposed to prop up someone that literally incited violence during a riot? That's the conversation. Like, her being served for too long, I would agree with that. 31 months just seems crazy, but that's not the conversation. That totally isn't the conversation.
That she deleted straight
I'm not
away.
comfortable with incitement to violence, are you?
I don't see that as incitement to violence. You see that Kneecap said go and kill an MP, Conservative MP, and nothing happened to them.
She encouraged people to go and burn down
And they did
asylum
it.
hotels. How is that
You have
not
proof.
incitement to violence?
There was no proof that anyone acted on that tweet, and I'm not comfortable.
So what? Just because so what? That's not how the law works.
So for me, and I think most British people, I don't think we are free when someone is met at a plane with 5 armed police for a
now she's
tweet.
gonna
We
divert.
have to have the right to say what we want.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking
not
about
saying
Lucy
what you
Conley, the
said.
person
I'm
that
not
you
saying-
invited to speak from your conference floor. Is that a sign of a serious party, a party of law and order? Pretending that someone was a political prisoner, as if the Prime Minister himself personally put her there, saying that she was a political prisoner and putting her up in lights. Is that the sign of a serious party that is serious about going into
I'll tell you
government?
why she was put up, Lewis. Because the Bail Act dictates if you remand someone in custody until they're sentenced, until they're tried. She wasn't given bail. You only prevent someone from bail if you think that they're going to commit further offences. I don't think any judge would have seen that she would. If she's a threat to the public, if she's a flight risk because she doesn't have community ties, there was absolutely no reason to remand her in custody until her sentence.
Who is talking about this? What is she talking about? Like, who is she talking to right now? She's talking to herself? Like, because no one is talking about that. She literally just keep bringing up points. Well, she was in there for 31 months. Well, she didn't get a bail. No one is talking about that. Everyone is asking you, why is it that you're propping up someone as a hero when they literally incited violence? And they deleted it and said, oh yeah, well, at least I deleted it.
Her sentence itself was a lot more punitive than it should have been for other people who've received similar things. And that's why we deem her to be a political prisoner. I'm not saying what she said was right. I think what she said was absolutely horrific, and I don't condone it in any way. It's something I would never say myself, and I don't approve of it. But the way she was treated by the judicial system needs to be questioned, because we cannot have that again. Also, if someone has gone through, I've been in courts where if someone's gone through the type of emotional trauma that she went through, losing a child, that is taken into account in your sentencing. You take into account if someone's a first offender. You take into account if you release them, will they be a further threat to the public? And you and I know that both those things are not true for her. So her sentence was punitive.
Just to be clear, by the way, she pleaded guilty. Okay, the woman she's talking about pleaded guilty, chose not to go to a trial. So if you're gonna blame anyone, you could actually blame the people that are giving advices on how she should like maneuver, or you could just blame her for making that decision. Oops, sorry, you decided not to flip the coin. You just chose the safe path. It is what it is. Like, that's on you. I'm sorry, but these conservatives, right? These reform voters, like, all of them, these people, they claim to be Christians and love thy name. These people have no morality to them. Genuinely no morality to them. She's so uncomfortable saying you're going to send women back to Afghanistan, but she's slightly saying it, but she knows it sounds bad, okay? Like, everyone knows the kind of dangers women are subjected to in these countries, and yet to bold-face make a claim that regardless, they're still illegal immigrants, so who cares, send them back, because we want to protect women and children in this country. Do you think the only way women are safe in this country is by stopping the boats? Women still face an unrelenting level of like pressures and dangers in this country without illegal migrants anyways, which is just what makes this argument so stupid. But that's just my thoughts. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and also drop a like on the video.